individuals. You see the whole...
My great aspiration, my greatest ambition is to be so good. Now, in that way, I'm tiresome, as I suppose, to live with, because I want to be a fantastic human being.
I am the greatest. We're not disputing that, Cassius, but how does Sonny Liston feel about it? He can't feel but one way, and let's take everything I say and like it. Because February the 25th, I'm going to take back my job. I'm the champ. He's no champ. He's a tramp.
When you see men fall, don't laugh. Learn. Learn. Because you're on your way up. And the things that tempt people to fall, you and I are not free from that temptation.
Pyramus, Hennessy, Whiskey, John, Christian Dior, East Saint Laurent, bitch whirling that drop on the floor. Then I just hop in the rolls and scoot. Then I just hop in the rolls and scoot. Then I just hop in the rolls. I am the sickle and hammer. I am like Tony Montana. I got Betty Crocker in the trash spot, cooking up dope with a crop pot, turning that soft on a butter rock, then chewing tip when the hair drops. Bitch, my life is a movie. Surrounding myself on the Mickey.
Today we here to celebrate, not emulate. The colors and the spectrums don't have nothing to do with how we anticipate the relative theories of cognitivism. The life that we live and the life that we know right now is a shell of its former. I am here to introduce to you another version of a life that you never possibly could have had. Earth, wind, and fire all consumed in the lungs of someone who is no longer with us, trying to anticipate another resurrection. Even though the red, white, and blue stripes tell you that the bill is passed, you still might not last as long as you expected. Lust and desire seem to be the consumers of perfection. I welcome you to the Attic Open Mic. 3 of the greatest to ever step foot on the stage. 3 of the greatest to ever give their heart and soul to the page. I appreciate you. Flowers and all, headstones and all. When you engrave my whispers, make sure that you tell them that we were somebody, that we meant something, that we had a part in this cake that we cut and sliced. When we get out here and we celebrate the 4th, make sure that the gun sounds ain't the same thing as the candlesticks that you blow out on that wedding cake. I appreciate y'all for hanging out with us. Happy Friday, happy 4th. I got some returning guests in the building. Salutes to everybody. You already know how we do when we get down with these open mics. You dig what I'm saying? Like, share, follow, repost, let the people know that we are on. Let me go ahead and bring everybody up. Some stuff that I want to chop it up about. Don, JJ, Sydney, talk to me. What's up? What's up? What's up?
Happy 4th, everybody.
Hello.
Happy 4th. Happy 4th.
These ain't angel wings. These ain't angel wings, guys. It's just like my chair in the background here.
Oh, it does look like angel wings.
Right? Yeah.
How
I'm loving
subtle.
being here. It's been a while and a minute.
Oh, yeah, it has. It has. How's everybody doing today? Let's just go around real quick with that one, because I know we had a brief discussion prior. I want to address that, and I do want to get to the actual poetry itself, but just a wellness check. How is everyone?
Thank you, man. And I guess I'll start. Wellness check is for real, man. And I appreciate you asking, because I don't have too many that really check up on my wellness. It's been pretty rough. You know what I mean? I came back to upstate New York in hopes to rekindling relationships with my children, you know what I mean? Due to, past mistakes I had made, as a father, as a person, as a man, you know what I mean? And I just now realize, almost 50 years old, that my children will never be children again. They're now young adults, you know what I mean? And I'm very blessed that my daughter just graduated, and not that she's talking to me right now at this moment, you know what I mean? But I'm blessed, and I had to swallow my pride, if you will, and really thank the people that are caring for her for helping her along with that path. You know what I mean? And it took a lot of courage for me to say thank you and for me to acknowledge that, because I had some anger for a while. You know what I mean? Because I felt like I wasn't, I felt like I was wronged, if you will. You know what I mean? And but I'm just grateful that she graduated, because there's so many hurdles against us as there is in life. You know what I mean? Being the 99% of the world, you know what I mean, of this country, the people of the regular people. It's so many hurdles. Being a graduate is such a great thing, and there's many people that counted her out. Just being having my last name, or I remember when I was last with her, she was going to school and they wanted to put her on medication and put her in special classes. I was like, no, she doesn't need that. You need to be more attentive to what she acknowledges, what she likes, and what she does. You know what I mean? Medication ain't gonna help. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that I encouraged that, because I think that may have been what took her to where she's at right now. She's a graduate. And I just want to say that's where I'm at right now, is just really acknowledging my past choices, and growing and being accountable, and just trying to make every day better. I mean, and I just would like to encourage anybody to stop focusing on the yesterday so much, but definitely use it as an experience to make tomorrow better.
Anybody else want to chime in, or should we just pick up from where I was getting ready to recap a question that I actually wanted to respond to? Doesn't really make a
I
difference.
can quickly say something. Um, First of all, again, my name is Sydney. On social media, I'm Science Squid Poetry, and I'm doing pretty good. We just got back from a drive with the kids, and then my husband just took my son to the park. So I'm glad they're getting to go out and do things right now. For I'm not calling it what it is, but I'm calling it Freedom Appreciation Day.
I like
Um,
that.
because I don't really reflect the environment of that holiday right now.
No,
But
I agree.
I'm enjoying the 4 days off for my husband, because then we get to hang out more than usual, and he can have two extra long nights instead of going to bed at 8 every night. So
Awesome.
yeah, I enjoy holidays for that reason.
Right. Um, I can go.
Understood.
I'm doing okay. So I just finished my semester. I'm going into my last semester or last year of school. Um, so yeah, I just wrapped up like finals, but I don't get a summer break. So we literally just started this week. So that sucks, but it's fine.
Hey, it's better to be active than idle.
Yes,
Yes.
that's true. Yeah, it's the home stretch.
That's all right. You got this.
Thanks.
Um, so for those of you who are just tuning in, we had a brief discussion, and I'm not going to draw it out very long. I just wanted to do this here specifically because a lot of y'all don't understand social media etiquette whatsoever. And I mean, I've spoken on it before. I think I did like a 23-minute video on it, you know, but there's still people out here that just doesn't understand it. And the only reason we ended up having this conversation at all was because um while I was on my Threads app, I had noticed that there was a lot of people that I was following and supporting. They had like disappeared, didn't understand why nobody was reciprocating the love that I was giving to them. And I kind of waited a couple of weeks before I made a decision, because that's how I usually do it. I'll rap with you, you rap back. But if it gets quiet, I'm just like, well, all right, you're just not here. You're probably just working, or you got things going on with the family. There is a life outside of social media. So I just chalk it up to that. But after you go into the first and then the second and then the third week, it's like, all right, red flags, something ain't right. So I started to find out the hard way that a lot of people that I thought I was really connecting with and we were having decent conversations with, I noticed that they were no longer following me no more. But I was still following them, and I was still posting, and I was still commenting and all that. And so I went into an unfollow spree. I went into an unfollow spree, and I started to rant a little bit. And with that being said, we ended up eventually talking about our algorithms individually, how they work and how mines work, and to really answer that question as far as mine is concerned, if any of y'all want to elaborate more on it, we can. If not, we can just jump into the poetry. But for me, I don't really post specifically for one thing. I will do poetry one day. I might rant and rave for a whole week. I might talk about politics one day, and you never heard me really talk about politics. Or I might end up talking about just some of the most random stuff. I might ask some of the most random things. I do not like being put in a box. So the algorithm will probably never gauge how I move, because I just talk.
And that is why I like this show.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I will say that also. I do appreciate your diversity. You know what I mean? I may not be in every show or watch every single thing, but I do appreciate a person that doesn't follow a certain box or cliche, or, you know, a person that's well versed and open minded and willing to experience different points of view.
does that really bother you guys? Like, does that affect you? Do you really, are you attempting to curate your content specific to a certain thing? Does that really make a difference to you, or not at all?
I curate my content to a degree. Like, there are things that I will completely block out. Like, I don't care about celebrity gossip. If I see any of the like news places that I don't like, I'll immediately be like, do not show me this. I'll send, like, on social media, I'll censor people that are espousing views that are completely divergent from mine. Like, I don't care if we can peacefully coexist, but if I can see that they're the type of person that's going to hold steady to their views in a way that would bother me, I'm not going to bother with that person. And so usually, like, block them. And so I do censor, but I also do have a diversity of interests. So it wouldn't appear to people that my timeline is censored in a way. But it is definitely geared towards the things that I'm interested in. You're going to find a lot of natural disaster and political news in my feed.
Yeah, that sounds like you. From what I know so far.
Okay.
I think that my content creation has changed a little bit. I've tried to create it to a more positive degree, or to a more of a poetry and political views, I think I've tended to go towards also lately. You know what I mean? I've kind of, I don't exactly stand in a political party, but I definitely stand in how the government is screwed right now. You know what I mean? How everything is really messed up. You know what I mean? But I think that I try to be open minded to everybody's points of views, but I won't allow anybody that's going to be like on my page or my communication that's going to be totally disrespectful or against any way of life or culture or demographic. You know what I mean? I think it's important to be open minded.
Yeah. For me, like right now, I'm trying to build kind of like a poetry, like threads I'm using just for poetry. So I'm almost building a brand. And then I was telling them earlier that I had a business. And so I was trying to figure out how to make the algorithm work for me. I guess I need to watch like the etiquette video, but like making the algorithm work for me because I'm not necessarily like going like for the people, but I'm more just working against like how their feed shows up and then how my ads show up or how I do retargeting ads and figuring out like what words to use and all of those things. Just trying to understand like the way social media works to get the likes, you know, and then push out the type of content and learning that videos at the time were better than posts or questions were better than just a regular post because people can engage with it or polls, I mean. So now I feel like I'm not as focused on doing that because my business is on hold right now. Um, but I get it, like trying to build a brand, trying to get likes. I mean, we're all in the social media world. Some people are getting paid for it, some people are not. So it's really what your reason for being here. Like, do you just want to consume content, or do you just want to like just you like make money from the content, or do you just want to do both? So yeah, it just depends on the motive. I don't think either of them are wrong.
You're either a consumer or you're the actual one providing the services.
Exactly.
I ain't got the energy for
Turning
it.
the page into more of just creation to also maybe monetizing my creation. I'm thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Hakuna Matata syndrome.
It's like there's a delicate balance between being creative and being a entrepreneur, I guess, because you can't like the thing with art is and writing and whatnot is you can't force yourself to create it because then it becomes not art.
Right.
Like you have to have that passion and soul behind it. And so I think that's like the hardest part is because if you don't have a high output of art, it's going to be hard to enjoy it while also marketing it.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And then we were talking about niche, like having your niche, like, okay, I don't know, like having your own formula, how to produce the way to make it like sustainable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if that, and also it can be difficult if it's not your strong suit.
Exactly.
A lot of artists are more like introverted kind of and less willing to do the like I'm gonna go put myself out there and
right.
Yeah, I don't go outside much.
You should. You guys should work.
When I do, we're at parks, but other than that, I don't like busy places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
Well, this is my first public space of reading any of my work in Instagram. I mean, I've really used Instagram as my platform of posting my creation stuff. But, you know, this is my first place, though, where, you know, where I was live, you know what I mean? And it takes a lot of courage. It does.
You know, now that I think about it, you're right. It's one of the things that I love about doing stuff like this. When I started on Instagram, and I've told this story before, I never showed my face at all. I was very agoraphobic.
Mhm.
Um, the people who made me more comfortable in front of the camera. They broke the ice. They allowed me to just go ahead and release it all and be myself up here. And like when you're forced in, I ain't even gonna say forced, but when you're sitting in my seat and your mission or your goal is to try to give people something worth watching or listening to, and you're bringing other people into your streams or discussions, you want to make sure that they're comfortable.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
think for me, I wasn't. I was so consumed around making sure that the guests or the people that came on felt at home, that it allowed me not to worry about my anxiety, because I was more concerned about you being safe to be yourself. So it took the attention off of me and focused on that, allowing me to be more vocal and more open to just being myself, essentially. So like I give a lot of shout outs and a lot of love to poets. When I say shout outs to writers, poets, content creators, I say that specifically because I've I've come across a lot of Dons doing this, a lot of JJ's doing this, a lot of Sydney's doing this. No, none of them type as fast as you, though. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on the record. But everybody got their own thing, and it's because of those connections that made this how it is today. So I don't just say stuff just to be saying it. And with that being said, we can jump into the poetry now. I just wanted to break
Thank you.
the
That was
the
a good
ice.
discussion.
Yeah. It's Friday. We just had a long week, and now we can have some fun. You haven't been in here in a while, so I know this is going to be a little more fun for you. I know I know you got some stuff uh ready to go, so I'll turn it over to you. I'll give you the
Okay.
solo, and
All
yeah,
right.
I'm gonna
Thank
let
you. All right. My name is Don. I'm sorry to promote myself on somebody else's show, but I'm on Instagram. You can follow me at Chameleon Creative. Also YouTube. I find myself writing a lot of times now of recent based on the current going ons in the world more than my own emotional feelings. But I find my emotions and feelings a lot of times being encouraged to write. So, and it's based on experiences in life. So the first poem I have to write or read today, spoken word, is it's called "The Anthem of the Unfurling." And I apologize if I crackle or talk too fast or things like that. I'm a little bit nervous and anxious, but I want to share this with you guys. It's not the shard, the crackle of the fuse, a fleeting spark, kissing the canvas at night, a brief bright mark. Nor the manufactured thunder, a hollow percussive blow, boast, echoing freedom's drum, then quickly almost lost. No, the fourth is not a firework, not a momentary grace. The moment a patent smile upon the nation's weary, hopeful face. It's not the sugar jingle of the jingoistic song, hummed beneath the banner where the echoes still prolong. The change we never saw, the whispers we never refused to hear, the phantom limbs of yesterday still trembling with their fear. It is the chrysalis, the shed, yet holding still the faint imprint of struggle sticky and raw, a promise not a sprint. A parchment aged with yearning, penned in blood and ink and tears, a declaration whispered through the vast, unfolding years. Each letter a defiant breath, each comma a slow, deep sigh. for self-evident truth that sometimes bravely try to die. Consider the Liberty Bell, not shattered but profoundly cracked. A scarlet shat tells a story of futures nearly sacked. Its voice is not a monotone, a single ring of sound, but a chorus of dissenting echoes, forever to be found. In the clamor of the marketplace, the murmur of the street, in every sound's protest, in every barefoot, weary feet, towards a justice so elusive, a dawn not fully born, a tapestry of contradictions beautifully torn. The meaning of the fourth then is a constellation vast and deep, where desperate lights of lineage their silent vigils keep. This rebel's fire spirit and the sutter's furrowed brow, the enslaved hand reaching skyward and whispering, not now, but how. It's the immigrant's suitcase, heavy with a fragile, fervent dream, and the native's ancient wisdom flowing like a sacred stream. It's the unfurling you see not merely of a flag so grand, but of consciousness expanding across its contested land. Perpetual becoming a question and a plea for the more than the freedom, the profound to be truly equal, to be truly heard, to be truly free, and to breathe and stand. A living, breathing manifesto held within our open hand. So the rockets burst, their fleeting beauty light the sky. But remember the deeper fire, the one that doesn't die. The ember of intention, the persistent aching call to build a better nation for one and for all. For the fourth is not an ending, nor a final decree, but the restless vital opening of what we yet can be. That's it. Sorry.
That was good.
Muted. The one line that stuck out to me was, or I guess phrase was immigrant suitcase. I was thinking about that the whole rest of the poem. I was like, wow, that's such a good metaphor. Like I was wondering what it meant in your sense, but I was also thinking of like all the ways that could be applied.
Basically, I guess what my intent was to express that every generation of my bloodline was an immigrant of some sort. You know what I mean? From Ukraine, from Ireland, you know, and then I also have Native American blood also. So therefore it's original blood of this land. You know what I mean? And so every suitcase that's come into this country was welcomed at one time. And now not every suitcase is welcome. There's been a lot of, you know, people blocked, you know what I mean? And people that are working of good citizens and good meaning that have been tossed away because of a certain political standpoint. You know what I mean? And I feel that that's not fair.
I like that.
That's not what the 4th of July is supposed to be about. That's not what this day is supposed to be for.
You
My apologies. You must not even got your Don DeMarco. I forgot I muted because now the fireworks was going off outside my window, and I ain't wanted to mess with your flow, so I muted my mic, but I forgot I took it off. But what I was saying was, I didn't find nothing wrong with the flow. I think actually that was a pretty dope return piece to give us. The layers, as always, I am a fan of layers in writing. You accomplish that, and you mix with.
I have to work on my deliveries, but yeah,
we all do. That's a lifelong.
Confidence is the biggest. Yeah,
same.
But there's a lot of layers there.
I use this to practice. This is how I practice. Like at this point, I'm not even picking up a notebook. I'll sit here, I'll freestyle something because I want to look at the camera. I don't want to be doing this. I can do that, and nothing wrong with it. But I want to practice doing hand gestures and little movements with the stuff that I'm doing. So like that's another thing about this I mess with. You can kind of toy around with stuff. So
Over the time I've been on here, I've noticed that my own speech has gotten better. Like my ability to communicate with people has gotten better because I've done so much talking. And then I also like hear myself talking, I guess.
it hits
I'm
different.
very judgmental on myself. Yeah.
But look, you can play this back, or even when you listen to the conversations, and like Sydney, I listen to myself. Was I too slow? Was I too fast? Was I pausing too much? How can I add a little extra oomph into this and that?
Yeah.
Like, it's little things like that that you don't notice often.
I'm
when
welcome
you're
to that kind of criticism for you people. Definitely my friends, you know, Cindy and MJ, and now my new friend Susan, because you guys, you know, I mean, you've definitely showed appreciation with me and encouraged me. So I would definitely appreciate any kind of encouragement as far as my delivery, because I hope to one day, I want to be the one to share it with millions in live and hopefully change somebody's life with my writing.
Mr. JJ, how you feeling? Are you warmed up a little bit? Are you ready to go?
Yes, I am.
You can do it. Look, you can, just for the record, I don't care. Y'all want to promo, you want to do that. I'm not stopping nobody from doing none of that. I ain't like that. Everybody should get their word out there. So if you got anything you want to share with the people, handle your business, and we rock out like that.
No, I don't have. I mean, I have a poem to share, but not.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I
not
got
anything. But I'm not sure if I did these others, so I'm just gonna do one about graduation for the people at my school.
Even if you did, I always love hearing your poetry.
Oh.
So I always redo it.
Yes,
I don't memorize
I'm
it
sorry to
first
hear.
time around.
Okay. It's just my short ones. I'm like, oh man, I probably did this one. Okay. All right, so I'll do okay, I'll do the graduation one since I need to try it out here again. Breathe in, breathe out, meditate with me. This is called a degree. You welcome uncertainty. Look how far you came. From acceptance letter, packed cars, or a full flight to PDX. With next semester schedule pulled into view on a charged laptop, beverage in hand, coffee, latte, tea, matcha. Slides downloaded to prepare for the forsaken 8 a.m. class, hoping that 10:50 a.m. hits so you're able to relax in between those dreaded classes. Look how far you come. You embrace uncertainty. From fumbling hands blowing up blood pressure cuffs, and you perfected your hot towel ringing to administer the top notch hydrotherapy. To first time rooming a patient, hi, I'm the secretary. Can you give me a second to log in? Whispers to self, what is my password? Okay, give me a second to talk to my attending. Oh my goodness, what the heck? Please tell me I pass. Now, good news, you pass your boards now for residency, or whatever is calling out to you. As you sit with uncertainty, I hope you remember that each courses you pass and assignments turned in by the well-known 11:59 p.m., you move through semesters sometimes feeling like an imposter in your seat. I assure you it's time to be confident in your abilities. It's not new that you're feeling uncertain. No matter the program, the degree, as you start to see yourself in your profession, I'm certain you're standing where you're supposed to be. It's okay to be uncertain.
That was such a cool poem.
That was so beautiful. So that should be read to people that are struggling with high school, man. You know what I mean? To encourage them. That was so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Or early college too.
Oh
Yeah, eat both. Yes.
That was really good. I liked it a lot.
Thanks.
And
This
I
was
definitely
the,
resonated with a lot of the feeling behind it because I really struggled with later years of school because I have really bad ADHD and I was hopelessly disorganized. So it was a struggle to get through because I didn't have my parents as a scaffold
mhm,
anymore. So I definitely understood, like, resonated with that
11:59.
anxiety.
Yeah, like trying to make the deadlines. Like for
Mhm.
me, I would turn in something 11:30 and just, I don't know, adrenaline rush to turn it in. But yeah, this is the one on Threads. I was like, y'all, I'm about to do this poem and need it to be workshopped. Um, which I probably should still throw it in your Discord, Sydney, for it to be
That was
fixed.
beautiful.
But yeah.
Yeah, school wasn't really my best friend. Mostly because I had to be my own cheerleader. So I don't know. Maybe I had a little ADHD myself because my attention span in the classroom was. I just want to get out of here and get to the next class. You sitting
Mhm.
there for 45 minutes, 50 minutes or so, and you got to do this for 8 hours a day. I, I don't I don't know. It's a weird thing, but that would have made me feel good about everything that I sat through, everything that I was stressing over. I would feel like, yes, all right, at least somebody knows.
Mhm. Yeah, my attention span wasn't good in school. Well, not good now. I'm still here.
I can relate to Mel when he was saying that he was his own cheerleader, and that's kind of why I lost interest because I became my own, like encouragement and cheerleader as far as progressing. And I ended up quitting school honestly, but I went back and got my GED.
Oh,
But
good.
when I was listening to your poem, though, you know what I mean, it really I've always wanted to go to college. I always wanted to be in that scene, you know what I mean? And I love to learn and I would love to have that experience, you know what I mean? And I hope that
Mhm.
every young person that can have that experience because I think it's something that some of us have missed, you know what
Yeah, that's true.
Sydney, she prime and ready. I see you was getting in your reading pose. I ain't mad at you. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to you. Go ahead and do your thing. I give
I
you the point.
also couldn't hide my excitement because our pizza just got
I'm,
writing and food, the two things that motivate me in life.
yes, mine is desserts.
I mean? Beautiful. Food and poetry, yes.
I had pizza earlier, so that's dope. I ain't mad at you. I had a whole piece to myself. I don't share my pizza no more. I used to. I need my whole box.
And cheese stuffed crust pizza? Yes. Mhm.
Yeah.
That's what they meant by manna from the heavens.
Now, manna from the heavens is tacos. I think that's taco. I think manna is probably taco.
I might be the only person on this planet that's never had a taco.
This never has.
Not one.
Hmm.
I've been encouraged to try them, but maybe I need to fix my own. That way I won't be so judgmental.
Yeah.
At least because it's my ingredients. So if I crash out, at least
It's
I
not your
don't.
fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least you won't be like my mom who didn't know that you had to take the corn husk off of a tamale and just like cut into it as if it
Yeah.
was a sausage or
That's
something.
funny. Really? She tried to eat a
Yeah.
corn husk? Wow.
Hmm. She was like, it takes a long time to chew, and her friends are just like, because you don't eat it.
That's funny.
She was from New England, and that was her first Mexican restaurant in California. So
Mm.
Yeah.
Understood.
All right, look, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna give you a solo.
all right.
Let you do your thing. You got the floor. I'll bring it back once you finish.
All right. So this one is called Ling Chi, which is Japanese for Death of a Thousand Cuts. This one was actually my first poem. I wrote it a couple days ago, I think, maybe on like Monday or Tuesday. This is my first poem after like probably a 2 to 3 month drought for writing. I was getting really anxious because I was like, why am I not able to write? Like, am I broken? Like, what's happening? So it was refreshing to finally write a full poem after that. So yeah, this is Ling Chi. I was washing dishes. I gazed out the whitewashed wooden window, roses in the breeze, yellow and red, gently waving as if to beckon, waving to me. I observed the empty blue sky and began to wonder about life as I washed the knife. I think about my kids, my spouse, my dog, my house. I can't carve out enough time for them all. Between bills and appointments and academic commitments, we sever our ties with loved ones in our lives. We cut off our ears to make peace with the noise, and we slice through the day without stopping for joy. At home, I'm not fun, but at work, I am under the gun. From my bosses, from my coworkers, from the people on the street, in our works, in our schools, and even at the pool. No matter where we are, violence is never far. But my hands need to stay busy, riding the razor-thin tightrope of time and quality. As I work for the work of once three, cutting it close, my fingertips ache. Is it knobs for my job digging in, or is it the nubs I chew them to be? No wonder everything sucks these days. No time, no focus. We all have to work. Our bleeding red accounts hint how close we cut it. Every week, to pay, to eat, to sleep, for our lights, for our heat. We can't just take our own axes and go chop wood or make candles from the fat of our steers. We can't just do what we want. We don't own anything. We are the cattle, living in wood shanties that they allow us to live in, walking across mud flats they maintain for us, consuming products they made for us to make us fat and sick. We chew our cud and they milk us, steal our children until we're done. They usher us in masses to the chute, whisked away to the butcher for our final use. We are not cut out for this life. My hand ballet taps along the absent taunting edge, just as we waltz on the edge with our health and our wealth, and the friends we keep on the shelf, like a toy we only use for special occasions. We don't love one another. We don't love ourselves. We use one another. We use ourselves, like we are toys, instead of a temple, bathing in percentages and weight measures, consuming cutting-edge fashion and sharp new looks every weekend. Though TV lies, we buy and buy, using knives to tell ourselves we are worthy. We use scars to brag that we are whole, even as others drag their blades across our pain. We allow it so we can have the excuse to subject ourselves to the pain of needles and stitches. We bleed for those who hurt us. We stare straight into the eyes of the ones who stab us straight through the heart. We forgive those who backhand us, backstab us, and backtrack us, letting them leave their notches like we are their tally stick of success. Instead of digging into ourselves with our nails, a tiny nick, a tick, towards the eventual end of 1,000, we chip at ourselves for others. We dare whittle ourselves away for acceptance, yet do not have the courage to pare away our excess to create our greatest form. A bright red rose petal reaches into the sky as if plucked into a frenzy by an invisible hand for connection. I'm suddenly back in my feet. In my hands is a knife, and on the blade is my reflection.
Oh, good. Especially that backhand, back slap, like that whole line. I like the rhythm of it.
Yeah, if I can't write, I always start with alliteration because that always comes the easiest to me. I grew up reading a lot of like poetry books as a kid, so rhyming schemes come up pretty easily.
Yeah, you touched on a lot of great stuff. I can't pinpoint one that resonated with me more than the other, but definitely I like the rhythm, and of course the topic is all there. So thank you.
Thank you.
I think feature that I'm gonna make a suggestion to StreamYards. They should create a feature where you have the option of adding captions when a person is speaking. Like if it's poetry, and I can just turn on the thing, and then when you go, then your words come as you're doing. I think that would be dope.
Mhm.
That would be
We
Yeah.
could put my fast typing to the test, and I'll just type it out as I'm saying it.
Yeah, let's do it.
You could do
I
it.
don't think I can type that fast because I talk faster.
Last same year. Yeah. I don't type it fast at all.
Nah, that was a phenomenal piece, though.
Thank you.
Yes.
I think it was based on. I
Pieces that should be
think it
in
was
the
either
book.
Monday or Tuesday. The plague of everything or whatever it was called. The video that we talked about.
The what?
You said Tuesday?
I can't remember if it was Monday or Tuesday. And I thought
Yeah,
it was,
I know what you're talking about. I just can't remember the title.
yeah. I think that's kind of where it came from. Is that whole idea that we as a society are overwhelmed by everything, and it's hurting us. It's hurting us gradually, slowly, in a way that we don't really notice, but in a way that will eventually like add up to something. And that's why I put in the knife, because it's like we most humans would never fathom actually hurting themselves. Like most people aren't having that thought in their head, like picking up a knife, like, oh, I should just hurt myself, or like allowing people to hurt themselves. But the way we live is literally allowing others to hurt ourselves. And so that's kind of why I use the knife metaphor.
Mhm.
There was a lot there. A lot.
Yeah, I have myself has been considering doing a podcast of some sort, or a vlog, or whatever you call it. You know what I mean? Basically what my friend Mel here does. I was thinking about doing something of it, and and I wanted to be more of a podcast, though, of not so much concentrating on the problems that there is, but how each one of us in our own little ways and areas and spaces are creating a difference. You know what I mean? Because you don't really see a lot of that. You don't really see a lot of people creating differences anymore. A lot of people acknowledge the issues and the problems, but very little people are speaking on it. You know what I mean? And from my experiences when, during protests and things like that, I don't agree with looting. I don't agree with rioting, but I do agree with us standing up and speaking our voice. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's very important. You know what I mean? And I think that's more important than because for me, always asking why and always asking why this happened to me and how it happened to me really didn't fix the problem. But when I acknowledged my part in how I can make a difference, it became a whole lot easier to deal with. And I would love to encourage that to our young people and to the world.
As far as I'm concerned, if that's what you feel in your heart to do it. But only if it's from here.
Yeah.
Don't
Takes a lot of
do
time.
it. Yeah, like I've noticed the frustrations in a lot of people who, they decide to embark on certain ventures, but their heart really isn't in it. They kind of just go there because it's trending. All trends ain't what you think they are, and a lot of this stuff is a little more complex than people would like to advocate for.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do decide to do it, go all in. Like I told my folks, you could really do this if you wanted to, but you're just not really invested. But if you
Yeah.
were really like locked in, you'd be all right. But you know, it take a lot of discipline. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yep. I agree with you. That's why I haven't started yet because I know that I'm a bit disciplined as of right now, or the opportunity or the timing. You know what I mean? It's not at the right time for me.
I'm gonna give y'all one more rotation. If you got one, cool. If you don't, you can sit this one out. I'm gonna do another little freestyle drink. I'll turn it back over to Don, and we'll just take one more trip around the globe real quick. Uh, Let me go ahead and do this solo. Clay egos, origami hands, building complex locations. Time of death, the beginning of life. Perceptions running rapid, dancing on car windows. Same color as gray skies, complementing each and every single peripheral that is offered their opinion to my destiny. I embrace the day wholeheartedly, handful of mocha latte, stained, covered with iron templates, only fonts written on stone tablets can exercise. Today is just another day where I am allowed to open up and get access to opinions and views that otherwise would get ignored and brushed over like the waves crashing against a torrential downpour of affirmations from demonic entities looking to devour my entire soul. Shout outs to everyone who has inspired the rhetoric that is my existence. You have allowed me to pursue a dream that was obsolete in the eyes of every variable possible to man. You are the existence to my equation. Without you, there wouldn't be a pen and paper, there wouldn't be a deep entropy, there wouldn't be a pen and paper to fixate on when it comes down to these varieties, these dress codes, this hairstyle, this melanin, the apathy behind the crown that is worn on me can only be fitted for the forfeiture of the thorns that are stuck inside of my cranium. But you wouldn't understand the pain, the anxiety, the progress, how I have to go to and fro to get answers that I seek from across oceans, sitting in one space, getting all of my inspiration from those that live 1,000 miles away. They know who they are. I shout them out every day from morning to sunset. My breaths, my soul seekers, my high fives, my see you tomorrows. I keep all of your beautiful notes on the palm of my hand. So when I wake up, the first person I pray to is the one that created me and those beautiful words that you shared with me. So thank you.
Beautiful piece.
It forces you to think on your feet.
Hi.
Hi, you're back.
She can talk now.
Oh,
I see.
Yeah, she wasn't talking last time I was on here.
yeah.
I think the last time I talked to you was when the plane crashed over in your neighborhood.
Ah, yes.
Oh,
They
yeah.
finally removed the cars. It took this long.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
They finally cleaned up from our tornadoes we've been having over here.
I know that's rough.
Mm-hmm. Especially since that happens every year.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I
How
don't
do
know how Floridians do it.
right. It was something I was gonna say. I just completely went blank.
Happens.
Don, you've been gone the longest. How I feel being back after all this time, man? Do you feel a little lighter? Do you know?
Man. I feel lighter, anxious, inspired. I love that I'm able to hear in person other people's words, and really, it's different between watching a video that's pre-recorded than hearing somebody improv reading their stuff. You know what I mean? To me, and especially when it's somebody you've communicated with before and resonated with before. So this is a whole different experience, and definitely something I needed. You know what I mean? I've been, doing other things and haven't been able to be a part of this, and this is very helpful for me. So this is why I'm here.
Glad to have you back, bro. Glad to have you back. If you got another one, I'll turn it over to you so
I do.
we can keep the ball rolling. I'll give you the solo.
After all this time, you better have another one.
Oh, I got a few.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Hold up.
So a lot of times I find with my poetry that I usually start off a sentence or a certain idea or maybe a line out of a song, like a lyric or something like that. And I usually go on from there. And the line that started this poem was, as soon as a man changes, the love changes. And best friends become strangers. And the reason why that I wrote that is because I had noticed that since I've chose to do better and different in my life, the love for me has changed, the friendships have changed. It ain't the same, you know what I mean? And so it inspired this poem. In the alchemist lab of the human heart, where desires distill and human future start, a peculiar transformation takes hold, a narrative whispered, ancient and old. As soon as a man changes, not with the slow creep of ivory and stone, but with the seismic shift of a tectonic plate overthrown. When the internal compass, once true to the north of who he seemed, swings wildly, chasing the phantom stars, a newly woven dream. When the architecture of the soul, brick by familiar brick, is suddenly demolished, rebuilt with a different form and quick, then wash the delicate filaments, the silken threads, and begin to fray, unraveling, leaving solace behind. For he is a river, and his essence the currents flow, and the banks diverge where then can the old waters go. And with this shifting bedrock, this eternal paradigm's jolt, the love changes not instantly like a lightning bolt, but subtly like the tide receding, leaving secrets to understand. A phantom coolness where warmth once resided, hand in hand. It isn't a death, no, not a sudden, brutal severing of light, but a metamorphosis, a turning of day into night. The hues of passion once vibrant, a painter's fervent plea, bleed into muted pastels, a faded memory. The laughter once a symphony, now a discordant chime, echoes and chambers held out by the slow, relentless climb of understanding a bitter fruit that what was cannot remain, when the vessel that contained it is touched by a stranger's name. For love, a mirror reflects the truth of who we are within. And if that image alters, then where does reflection begin? In this fractured landscape where the echoes of what was reside, the most painful truth emerges with nowhere left to hide. For the architects of our comfort, the keepers shared lore, the silent confidants who knew the soul's deep core. Those who navigated storms and celebrated every sun, who understood the unsaid, before a word was spun. Those very anchors, once so firm in the heart's tempestuous tide, become mere specters, shadows where understanding used to ride. The best friends become strangers or different separate seas, each shore a foreign country swayed by different breezes. The language they once spoke, a dialect only they could claim, now sounds like gibberish, a whisper of a forgotten name. The shared history, a book with pages torn and frayed, the map they drew together, now hopelessly waylaid. For the self, a labyrinth, constantly reshifted anew, and then the path diverges. What can the kindred spirit do? But watch the other vanish while beyond the shifting haze, well, silent wilderness of unremembered days. To witness ancient truth etched in the soul's deep grain, the change of relentless sculptor crowds both joy and pain. Let's wake the landscapes of our closest minds rearranged, leaving echoes of affection, a bittersweet eternal exchange.
Bang, 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 bang.
Thank you.
All right. I just make sure I wasn't on mute. Sensational work, brother. How long?
Thank
How
you.
long did it take you to write that one? What was it about? And
it doesn't take me long to write it. It used to be where I piece things together and I go back on my notebooks and pull the pieces together and put them together and things like that. But recently I've been able to just write. And like I said, it became from that one sentence, and it was based on my experience of made changes in my life and how distant you become with people that you thought that were your friends and your best friends and your, everybody's things end up being aligning differently. I mean, that was my impression and my, what I was trying to, write about. And it's been painful for me. Coming back to my hometown. I just came back from San Diego, as a couple of you guys know, and coming back to my hometown, I expected things to be, the same or relevant, and it's been a total change for me. It's been a total, sometimes bad experience, but other times, I have to acknowledge that things change and things are different. You know what I mean? And it's not that I'm better or anybody else is better, or I'm not judgmental. I'm not casting votes and things like that, but I know that time has changed me. You know what I mean? And that's what the poem was trying to inspire.
well, I love that. You got a lot of history behind your stuff. I just can't see anybody just writing something just to be writing it and don't have no meaning behind it at all.
Yeah.
I can't.
It's plentiful. There's definitely a lot of poetry out there that is lacking depth to it. On All Poetry, it's a website that's for like poets and stuff like that. And there's definitely a lot of people that just put stuff out there.
What's
Is
it
that
called?
where your poems now?
It's called All Poetry. It's literally a database just for poets to, like, on your profile you could post your poems, and then people can also host like poetry contests. The person that owns the website will also post his own poetry contests, and then like the point of it is so you can get feedback. And so like I think every time you post a poem, you have to comment on like one or two people's poems. That way everyone gets feedback on their poetry. And they like set the algorithm so every person gets feedback at least once.
That's awesome. What's it
I
called?
didn't know
again?
it worked like
All
that.
Poet? It says called All Poet or All Poetry?
Yeah. It's like that.
Okay, thank you.
Jay, you was about to say something?
I didn't know it works like that. I've heard of the website, and I think Cindy mentioned it before, but I didn't know just like get feedback and they have like the algorithm. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's what I mean.
it's a really cool community. I like getting to obviously get feedback on my work, but I also really enjoy seeing what other people are putting out there. And also it's nice because they put in like classic poems as well. So in the feed, you'll like randomly get like an Edgar Allan Poe or
Oh, okay.
stuff like that. So you can also read famous poems as well on the site.
Cool.
Nice. I like that.
Okay, okay. Write that
I
joint down.
apologize for the background noise, guys. They're shooting off fireworks. It's that time.
Oh nah,
I
they
don't really hear it.
they shooting them over here too. They've been shooting them here for the last 2 weeks though. So they start early here, like early, and it won't stop. And it won't stop after the night. They'll still be doing this all the way up until August for real, for real.
Hmm.
This is like their Christmas.
What? It reminds me of when I lived in Mexico. Because in Mexico, they were big in their parties, you know, and they'd go 2-3 days long. When you were saying that.
Mhm.
Miss J, do you have another one in the tuck, or are you good? No pressure.
I do have another one, but my friend texted me they wanted me to read theirs, but I didn't get it yet. So I guess I'll read mine then.
Okay, okay. Hey, look,
They don't
say
want to be on camera, so that's why. Yeah.
oh that no, that's fine. You don't have to show your face up here. You can actually just do this right here and you straight. I
Mhm.
like that's just
I
for
try to
future
tell
reference.
them.
Yeah. Maybe next time. Maybe next time.
Yeah, but I think they're sending it. But I can read. I can read mine.
Okay, okay.
Let's see.
To the people that are watching, by the way, make sure you go and support and show love to everybody that is up here. Uh, all wonderful people, all love. Like you've noticed, we don't do drama. We don't do all of the extra hoopla. It's just a chill vibe. You know what I mean? I miss doing these. I wish we could do them every week. Sometimes, yeah, have it where it's like yes, and then it's like all right, back to the drawing board. So I'm grateful for tonight.
Mhm.
But I'll give you the solo. Let you do your thing.
Okay. Hold on.
Girl, you already don't like this.
Uh, it didn't. Okay, there you go. Okay, so this is actually my friends. They just sent it to me if that's okay to read it. Alright. It's ironic watching my shadow live the life I want behind me, sometimes beside me, hiding behind the light I seek, the cold dark his home, bred from the past yet living for the now. Dancing in secrecy while I face judgment, though we share one mind, truthfully we should be twins. But the refraction between us is unpleasant, unwanted, imperfect phenomenon. Cast envy like graffiti on these walls, but when the sun doesn't shine and the stars are my audience, I hope to show my shadow how it's done. If only if I had its confidence. That's it.
Amen. If only. Thank you.
And that was your friends?
Mm-hmm.
That was really good. I like her flow a lot.
Yeah. I'll tell them. Well, they're probably watching right now.
It's it never ceases to amaze me how uniquely different people are, but how universally sequenced we are with a lot of our life. As different as we act like we are, oh, you're in a different class than me. I make 6 point this a year. You make 30,000 a year. We can't eat at the same table, but we still have some of the same problems, or we go through some of the same joys and all. It's just a bunch of rubbish to me how people be acting so snooty with stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was told by an artist before I really got into writing as much as I do now that when he goes to look at art, he tries his best to not make any face or any kind of judgmental type thing about the art, because he knows that it's very important to the person that created it to, to be interested, what I mean, for the person to have some kind of resonance with it, what I mean? And so now when I read others, I try to be open-minded. When I look at other people's art, I try to be open-minded and enjoy something of it. And if I can't figure it out, I like to ask questions, you know what I mean? And that's what I like about this platform and with the Attic, you know what I mean, is that you're able to share what you're thinking and what was going on. A lot of times when we read poetry, we don't really know what the person was meaning behind it, you know what I mean, and what they were thinking about. But it seems though, like you were saying, like right now you were saying, a lot of us seem to be really be able to relate. That's amazing. I love that. I love that. That was the one thing I loved about San Diego. San Diego was a place that you would have millionaires, you'd have homeless people, you'd have people of all walks of life, but they all walk in the same path. And most people are very open-minded to learning about the other. Whereas in upstate New York, it's not like that. It's very closed here. You know what I mean? And it's very judgmental and section.
We don't need it. We got enough judgy people as it is. We don't need no more of it. That's for sure. Shout out to your people though. I love that poem. Honestly, if they're watching, salutes to you.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate you sharing that. Real spill.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a good writer.
Miss Sydney, what's up? You ready to go? You're closing us out. I mean, if y'all got any words before we get off here, cool. But she's going to drop the last poem for this evening's festivities. So I will turn it over to you, and then we'll just give any final remarks, and I'll let you guys conclude your evenings.
So this poem doesn't actually have a name yet. I wrote it just before the event today. So yeah, it doesn't have a name yet, and I haven't read it out loud yet, so I apologize if it is a bit rough. The pang that never goes away. The sour feeling from reflecting on the flames when you injected gasoline into the veins of connection and lit matches to erase the you of each phase. That pang that never goes away, the hollow longing from recognizing all the lost moments when you traded time for material personality and replaced life with lists and littered spaces. The pang that never goes away, the deep regret in dead gardens and empty pages when you let vices lead you from your pathway and allow any pull on your strings, your time bought by the first bidder. The pang that never goes away, the sourness, the longing, the regret, never escaping the jungle, the desert, the swamps, a life spoken for by disorder, disorientation, dismay, but somehow reclaimed with practice, passion, and purpose. The pang that never goes away memorializes the mistakes you made, so don't fall again. That pang must remind you to be gracious for those who stuck with you. Stop trying to buy your existence. Celebrate even the smallest successes. The pang points out what's important.
And come on down.
I wrote that basically to exemplify ADHD and the feeling of like ADHD can be so limiting, and in the past it's taken away a lot of different opportunities. I've killed a lot of friendships. Like I've ditched a lot of things that I enjoyed just because my focus switched, or I burnt out my energy and whatever. So I've like lost a lot of opportunities that I could have had. And so that was kind of to express all the regrets that can come with ADHD, but also still touch on the benefits, because it still is a superpower in a way, and that it like supercharges my interests, and I'm able to excel in a lot of things that I put my mind to, as long as I put in the effort. But that's the challenge, is the effort part.
Yeah, and the motivation. I feel you.
Thank you. Yeah. I relate to that.
It's always a privilege and a blessing to get to sit with great artists. Great word. I just had a conversation with one of the powers to be at my space where I clock in. And I told him I do this. Now, I just want to give my flowers out to everybody here, to the viewers, to JJ, to Don, to Sydney. I thank y'all again for taking time out of your life to hang out here. To the people that are watching, I thank you for taking time out of your July 4th to be up here with us. It means a lot to me. Be safe. I don't know what y'all got going on the rest of the night, but I hope you guys enjoy your evening. Make sure that you are tuned in. Like, share, subscribe, of course. If y'all got anything y'all want to add to this before we close out, y'all can. Oh, also, one more thing. Outside of that, any final thoughts, any final words?
One, I wanted to say thank you. I'm so happy that we finally have poets on here again. I've missed the poetry events. So thank you for coming.
I want to
just
say
one more thing for Mel. I'm probably gonna miss Monday, just because I have to go to my son's. He's in Capoeira now, and my husband wants me to watch one, so I won't be there on Monday, but I'll be back Tuesday.
Gotcha.
I'd like to say that I just got done writing a story, and I'm getting encouraged and the confidence to slowly probably drop it very soon. So if you guys can keep an eye out, I'm on YouTube and Instagram. I most likely will share the link on there to that story.
Discord too.
Yes, Discord. I can share it on there as well. On there, Chameleon Creative, and I look forward to seeing you guys again.
Good to see you.
Thanks for having me, and I hope y'all have a good night.
Tell your
Thank
friend
you.
great work as well.
Okay,
Yes.
I will. Hopefully they send some more stuff.
Yes, please.
Yes. All right, well, folks, we about to get up out of here, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. We are out.
Bye, guys.
Pyramus, Hennessy, whiskey, John, Christian Dior, East Saint Laurent, bitch whirling that drop on the floor. Then I just hop in the rolls and scoot. Then I just hop in the rolls and scoot. Then I just hop in the rolls. I am the sickle and hammer. I am like Tony Montana. I got Betty Crocker in the trash spot, cooking up dope with a crop pot, turning that soft in a butter rock, then chewing tip when the hair drops. Bitch, your mother.